I'm Coach Carolyn, and this is a healthy lifestyle channel. I am not a health coach, but I am a life coach and an advocate for eating well. Today, I'm super excited to have the protein bar review guy here. He's going to help us review one of these protein bars, and he's also a certified trainer through the National Academy of Sports Medicine, a corrective exercise specialist, and a nutrition enthusiast. So let's get started. Super excited that the protein bar review guy is here with us. And today I have called upon him to give me courage to try this bar, this epic bar, because it is Bison. And I've been a little bit weirded out about trying this because it is a meat product. And so this is really going to help give me the courage. So thank you so much for being here with me. And I know that on your YouTube channel, you have a specific criteria that you rate things. So
Yes.
why don't you tell the audience what our criteria is going to be today?
Base all the reviews for these bars based on ingredients, protein content, macros, calorie count, taste, and texture, and then we give them an overall score of 1 through 10.
Okay. And can you refresh my memory of what macros means?
Macros are basically 3 primary sources of energy that your body taps into for fuel, and they are carbs, fat, and protein. And with fat, you have 9 calories per gram. Carbs and protein are both each 4 calories per gram. You can see how much fat and how much carbs and protein are in a bar. You can basically figure out in your head with the math of what percent of the bar is from fat, carbs, or protein. That's a good way of determining how much of that protein bar is actually protein, and then how much of it is junky carbs and fat and, being glorified candy bar.
Yeah. Do you ever talk about sugar content at all?
Ingredients is one of the categories for scoring. So we talk about
Okay.
all the ingredients, whether it's sweetened with sugar, stevia, sucralose, aspartame, acesulfame, potassium, maltitol syrup, whatever it is, we touch upon that in the ingredients section of the review.
Okay, cool. So let's get into the ingredients.
This is the Epic bar. This is 100% natural bison used, and it says gluten-free. A little different than most protein bars that we've reviewed so far. Protein bars in general kind of tread the line between, glorified candy bar and healthy snack. On my channel, I review protein bars. That's my name, that's my thing, protein bar review guy. I am not advocating for anyone to avoid real foods and eat protein bars instead of real food. There is a time and place when protein bars are beneficial. And I want everyone to realize that, so that you're not cutting real foods out of your diet and exchanging it for something that's designed for shelf life rather than for health and nutrition.
Right.
So basically realizing that protein bars are best used when you're on the go, when you don't have time to get real food. It might save you from pulling over and going through a drive-through, fast food or something. Or,
Yes.
right after a workout, when you're walking out of the gym, you have a protein bar or a shake in your bag, something like that. If you're leaving the gym and you're going to work and you don't have your first break for 2 or 3 hours into your shift, then you got to eat something as you're walking out of the gym. But anyways, that's my thing. I'm an advocate of real whole food nutrition rather than eating protein bars. But since protein bars are there and there are a time and place for them, I'm trying to help the viewer make good choices about the bars they purchase so that they can find some that are not basically just candy bars and that, are actually somewhat decent for you.
Right. I think that's a really important point to make, the couple of points that you made, because sometimes these things are labeled and branded as if they're healthy when they really are not. And I'm thinking, just based off of what you just said, is, sometimes I get stressed out and I do the anxiety eating where it's like I'm super hungry, and I could tell that it's based on the stress that I just went through or whatever. And so maybe I should try having a protein bar instead.
Yeah. Yeah. If you let yourself get too hungry, when you do get in front of a plate of food, people tend to overeat that way.
Right.
You want to jump into the ingredients here?
This is the Bison uncured bacon cranberry bar. We both have the same one, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
So for ingredients here, the first ingredient is bison, which is a good source of protein, a much higher amino acid profile than a whey isolate or something like that that's in a bar. It's going to be a much higher bioavailable source of protein, which means your body's going to absorb a higher percentage of the protein
Okay.
than a whey powder or something like that your body might only absorb 5 to 10, maybe 12% of that whey protein powder. Whereas when you're getting protein content from, say, egg white or chicken or real meat like this, your body tends to absorb maybe 20-25% of the protein. So that's what I mean by more bioavailable. So
Okay.
that's a good source of protein to start with, the bison. And then we get into uncured smoked bacon. It says with no nitrates or nitrates added. And then in parentheses, we have pork, water, sea salt, brown sugar, vinegar, celery powder, dried cranberries, apple juice concentrate, cranberries, water, uncapsulated lactic acid, and sea salt. It's definitely going to be high on the sodium side. I could tell,
Okay.
without even looking at the nutrition facts, because of, this being designed for a shelf life, it's going to be high in preservatives. So they have to add something to it. And I mean, at least in this, they're not using nitrates. They're basically using, salts, the encapsulated lactic acid.
Right.
And
And I would bet it's also the cultured celery powder that's helping with that
right,
as well.
pretty good. There's no sugar added. There's no artificial sweeteners.
So protein content, I learned that women should have a recommended daily allowance of 46 grams and men should have 56 grams. So when you're incorporating a protein bar into your diet, what is the amount of protein that you like to see in a bar?
I really base it off how many calories in total the bar is. I'd like to see, for a regular size protein bar that ranges between 180 and 220 calories, I'd like to see around 20 grams of protein. If it's a
Okay.
bigger bar that's maybe 300, 350, or a 400 calorie bar, I would like that to be proportionally higher in protein. So if it's a 400 calorie bar, that better be near 40 grams of protein at bar, or else then we get into the macro breakdown and you look at percentages and you're like, well, this 400 calorie bar is only like 28 or 30% protein, right?
Okay.
If it's not getting 40 grams of protein in that higher calorie bar. So snack size, I guess, protein bar of 180 to 220, I would like to see 20. The higher calorie protein bars of 350, 400, those are kind of designed for meal replacement bars, which we just touched upon. And I'm not looking to replace meals with bars. I'm looking to just tide you over till you get home from the gym and eat some
Okay.
real food.
All right. So this one has 7 grams of protein.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the ingredients. So what, on your scale from 1 to 10, what's your score for the ingredients?
I'm going to give it an 8. 8 for ingredients. It's a little high on the sodium scale for me, which is expected, like we said, for, having to be there for a preservative. But other than that, I think it's pretty decent. There's no funky stuff. There's no natural flavors in there, which is good too.
Right.
They're being pretty transparent with the ingredient profile, so that's good.
I think I'm going to agree with you on this, but for different reasons. I don't see any labeling saying that it's organic or non-GMO. And those are 2 things that I look for in food. So it's an 8 for me.
8. Okay. Cool. So the protein content, we have, 7 grams. So that's pretty low, even for men or women. And this is 130 calories. So at 4 calories per gram, this 7 grams of protein is giving you 28 calories from protein out of 130. So you're less than 25% of this bar is from protein. And you have 8 grams of fat at 9 calories per gram. So that's 72 calories of this bar is from fat. And then On your carbs, it's 8 grams. So you have more carbs than protein in this bar,
Ooh,
which is something I don't generally like to see in a bar,
wow.
especially if it's a snack bar. I mean, carbs are good if you just finished heavy lifting and your body needs carbs. But if you're at a sedentary job, like sitting at a desk or something, and you need a snack, you know, you really don't want to be adding, a surplus of carbs into your body. So at 8 grams of carbs, that's 32 calories from carbs right there in this bar. So protein content on this, that's a fail for me. I'm gonna give it a two. I'm
Oh,
gonna give it a
wow.
two. I mean, that's like 23% of the bar being from protein, and
Right.
it's and it says right on the front, so they're marketing as a protein bar,
Yeah.
which they should. I mean, obviously the marketing is not going to be as good if they say it's a fat bar,
Right. So I
um,
probably would have rated it higher before learning all of what you just said. But I'm going to give it a 6. And that's just because I'm not a health coach. I'm just an advocate for healthy eating. And so I look at things differently than you do. But you're definitely much more educated in the nutrition world. So that's why I'm giving it a 6.
macros for that. I'm going to give it a 4. It's because some people might be trying to get more fat in their diet as their primary fuel source instead of carbs. So it has a purpose in that aspect. Protein content for a protein bar, yeah, I gotta slam it with a 2 on that
Dang.
one.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Uh,
then calorie count, um, would we say 130? That's on the low side.
right.
I mean, I guess it's good if you're sitting at a desk and you just need something to tide you over. But as far as a protein bar, like I said, I think the prime window is between 180 and 220. So for that, I'm going to give it a 4 as well on calorie count.
Right.
Not completely trashing it, because there are some times where you need a low calorie snack. Some people might be on a restricted calorie diet, so we'll give it a 4. We'll
Uh,
base.
Well, I think it's pretty average, but that is something to consider. Like, this seems like it's such a small amount of food for the amount of calories. But I would probably give it an 8 just because I think that it's along the lines of what else is out there.
Let's open this thing up and
Okay.
give it a taste here.
Ah, So I've never tasted one of their bars before. I do love Bison burgers to the point where I don't like hamburgers anymore. I just like the Bison burgers. Okay, cheers.
Yeah, cheers. It's not as salty as I was expecting. I
Mm,
was expecting to cringe a little bit from the salt, but the first thing that hit me was the cranberry, the
okay.
sweetness of the cranberry on the outside.
It reminds me of one of those pepperoni sticks, but not pepperoni flavor.
Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, um, I think that goes along with the texture as well. It's kind of like the same texture, but not as oily as one of those pepperoni sticks.
yeah, definitely not as oily. Like if you look at a Slim Jim wrapper after you eat a Slim Jim, it's got that like orange grease still inside the plastic wrapper. You can see this. I mean, you can see the wrapper there. There's no reddish oil or anything sticking to the clear wrapper there. I think it tastes pretty good. Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised that it's not completely salty. Do you think it's too salty, or
No, I don't think it's too salty. I'm not getting the flavor of cranberry at all.
really? To me, it's mostly on the outside, but actually, you can see on the inside there is there are some pieces of real cranberry on the inside.
Right, I can see the cranberry. I just can't taste it.
It tastes pretty good. I'm gonna give it an 8 for taste. Um, it's not something that I would really, crave or, be jonesing for. Um, but it's not bad. I like the little sweet hint of the cranberry, with the meat taste to it. Um, I think it's a good combination to balance out, the sweet and salty together there. And texture, a little on the soft side. I mean, you don't want it to be too hard, like you're biting into a really thick piece of beef jerky and you're chewing shoe leather or anything, but it is pretty soft, pretty easy to sink your teeth through. I would like it to be a little firmer. Um, so for that, I'm going to give it a 7. That's my only complaint about the texture is I think it should be a little firmer to give you, a little more something to sink your teeth into. But
Okay.
it's good. I'm going to eat the whole bar.
Well,
Personally,
I definitely can't give it a 10 on either one. I don't eat pepperoni sticks. So, um, I'm really kind of struggling with it. I think that it's more like 5, 6 on the taste and probably the texture too. I think it's a little too firm for me. I
really,
don't like the biting down on it.
really,
Yeah.
I like my bars to feel like I'm really eating something. Sometimes I put them in the fridge and just store a box of protein bars in the fridge so they get harder and tougher, and it makes me eat them
Okay.
slower. You know, um, but
Okay.
I'm gonna give this a 5 overall. I'm gonna give it a 5. So there's
5.
my score there. Protein bar review guy giving it a 5. I gave it an 8 for ingredients. Protein content, I gave it a 2. Macros a 4. Calorie count a 4. Taste an 8. Texture is 7. Just overall, the losing a lot of points for the low protein content and the macros I was not a fan of, and the calorie count was a little too low for me. So yeah, I got to give it a 5.
Okay. I think mine totaled up to, oh, you're doing the overall 1 through 10 again. You didn't add up your total score. Okay. So average is probably like a 5, overall 5.
So yeah, so we're pretty much in the same ballpark with our overall opinion of this bar. If you're looking for your go-to protein bar, I was looking. I don't think this is it unless you are on a higher fat diet. But then again, this also had more carbs than protein in it. So, you're trying, if you were on a high fat diet and you're trying to get protein in with that diet, you're getting more carbs than you're actually getting with protein from this bar. So it's not really helping your nutrition goal in that aspect of the macros. So I would keep looking.
For all of the protein bar fans out there, they should definitely go to your channel because you've already rated several. And so if they're considering one, they should definitely go to your channel first before purchasing. So check out the Protein Bar Review Guys channel for sure, without a doubt. Give us both a subscribe and a like if you like this video. And I really appreciate you collaborating with me on this. And I'm very curious now what you would think of some of the other snacks that I have.
Oh yeah, sure. We can do this again anytime. I'm happy to be, a guest on your channel, and I'll post this on my channel as well. Anytime, yeah, I'll help you review some snacks anytime.
Cool. Great. Anything else that you want to say to the audience before I take us off of record?
Your health is the most important. I'm not about anybody poisoning their body with, terrible ingredients that are marketed as health food products. Your health is delicate and your health is important. Please everybody, be careful and choose wisely what you put in your body and read the ingredient lists.
Right. Same here. Because it does matter. Even a little bit matters. We wonder why we have a sick culture, a sick country. And I believe truly that our food can heal us and it can also prevent illness as well.
Absolutely. I'm a strong believer in that phrase of let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. And, if you follow that right, most people they can stay out of that hamster wheel of big pharma and prescription drugs. I mean, if you get sick from eating the food, then you have to take medicine, and it snowballs from there. So you can spend the money at the grocery store on nutrients, vegetables, or you can be paying copays at the doctor and the pharmacy. So
Exactly.
I truly believe it balances out, and you can choose where you want to spend your money. I think you'll feel better, have a higher quality of life if you spend the money at the grocery store.
For sure. I agree. Thanks everybody for watching, and we will see you again next time.
All right. Take it easy, everybody.